Welcome back to The Loft. Now, Winnie, as our guest, you come all the way originally from Nigeria, and you're about to throw down in the kitchen, showing us something, you know, local to your cuisine.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Now, everyone has their own way of making this next recipe, but Winnie will be showing us her take on a scrumptious Nigerian flatbread, and we're making a decadent garlic and herb butter to go along with it. So, Winnie, take it away, girl.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to let Tumi just work on the filling while I just work on the rolling. Now, this flatbread is super duper easy to make, literally, and it requires just a few ingredients. So we have some flour already there. So she's just going to mix that all up together with some baking powder.
This girl of yours went up Alisane. Initially, she was saying, I'm going to do everything. And she's like, why should I? I'm a guest here. I want you to do the manual labor. So that's why I'm on flour duty. Thank you, Winnie. It's okay. So to tell you
She doesn't mind. She definitely doesn't mind.
How we got to those beautiful round balls over there is that we've got some flour here. And as you saw, the previous recipe had some yeast in it, Balisa, right? So this one is a bit of a different one. So instead of using yeast, we've got some baking powder here. We've got some flour. We've got some salt, some sugar, and a bit of oil. And then to put it all together, we're going to be using some yogurt to go into the dish itself instead of, you know, all the water like we did with the previous one and milk.
Perfect. We need some flour on the station too, girl. Come on, act like you know.
Thank you.
She wants Winnie's bread and her batter to be stuck on the surface. So we need to make sure that it does not stick on the surface, that it's easily pliable. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm just rolling this out. You basically just want a very thin roll.
Let's also put some on that rolling.
Okay, that's very much needed.
Just like that, and then just make it.
Thank you. Yeah. So just roll, roll, roll. The dough is already very, very soft for you to work with. Just roll it as flat as you can, but not too flat. And then after here, it just goes into the pan, and then it gets cooked up really nicely for about 2 to 3 minutes on both sides. And boom, you have your flatbread already ready to go. After you're done mixing up the ingredients, you have to let the dough rest for about 30 minutes before you move on to the rolling part and then the cooking part, yeah?
Why do you have to let it rest?
I think it just allows the ingredients just marry well together, and then it gives it the time to just become this beautiful soft dough that it is.
I love that. I know on Tuesday we had Chef Chart in the loft, and he was talking us through the different ways of preparing a delicious classic bread every single time. And he spoke about letting the gluten activate.
Yes. I think the gluten activates when you continue to knead it intensely for a while, yeah. So the more you knead it, the more the gluten activates. And the gluten actually makes it really super soft and nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, and another thing is that here you decided we're not going to make a naan bread, or we're not going to call it a naan bread. We're going to make a Nigerian flatbread. Now, talk to me about that, girl.
Okay, so a Nigerian flatbread is it's just this beautiful buttery bread that can be used to make a variety of things. Like today, we're going to be using it to enjoy with this beautiful garlic herb butter, and you can also have it with some hummus. In Nigeria, we actually use it to make shawarmas as well. It's a beautiful wrap that has chicken in it. It has coleslaw. It has hot dog and whatnot. It's very savory. I love it. And then, of course, you can also use the flatbread to enjoy some beans. I use it personally to enjoy beans as well. And you can make an early morning wrap with scrambled eggs and fried plantains and whatnot. It's beautiful. So there's so many things you can use the flatbread to make.
Versatile, dude.
Yeah.
Very versatile, Palisa. And also the other thing I'm loving about this particular recipe that Winnie has for us is that, remember I told you we're using bicarb in this recipe, and the reason we've chosen to use yogurt with it is because the yogurt has enzyme that actually activate the bicarb. You remember how Chef was speaking up about how the sugar wakes up the yeast? That's exactly what the bicarb does here, the yogurt does here for us with the bicarb, allowing it to be as pliable and in essence give it that, allowing it to do its work in the actual dough. So it's beautiful to see that the dough is also versatile, but also is the actual naan or flatbread once it's made.
Okay, and now we have to move on to that delicious. I mean, you spoke so highly of this garlic and herb batter. So what goes into it?
It's pretty simple. 3 ingredients, basically. The herb of choice here is just some parsley, and then we have some garlic cloves here and melted butter. I'm just going to give the parsley a rough chop along with the garlic. I'm going to mince that. A lot of people don't like chunky garlic in their stuff, so I'm going to mince it really well. And then mix it together with the butter. And boom, we have this beautiful garlic mixture.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, okay, so while whilst I have a taste test, because, you know, I'm just making sure. I keep saying it. I keep saying it, and I'm going to continue saying it. But can this dough then, for this Nigerian flatbread, can it be frozen?
Yes, I think it can. And then when you want to use it, just bring it out and allow it to thaw for a few minutes before you actually start working with it. I think it reminds me so much of a pizza dough as well. Yeah, and a pizza dough can actually be frozen as well. So if you can freeze a pizza dough, you can definitely freeze this one.
Yes, Palesa, like with all the bread doughs that we were using this week, because of the fact that we've got the yeast in there, the only thing that would kill the yeast would be heat if your liquid is too high.
Yeah.
But once it's made and your dough's already rolled, you can actually freeze it whole as a little ball, or you can flatten it, making it easier to thaw when it comes out of the freezer.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I had a taste of just the Nigerian flatbread before I incorporate some of that garlic and herb batter, just because I didn't want to mess with the integrity of it, and it's delicious. It really is very close to a naan bread also that we enjoy with some Indian dishes.
Yes, it is. But I think the difference with this one is I think this is more buttery and it's lighter, I think. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the difference.
Now, on that note, Dumi, I'm also going to just add some of that sauce now, just so that I can make sure. And then I'll let you know.
So as Palesa is dipping into that sauce now, what other sauces could we use with this type of naan? Hummus.
A tomato-based sauce would work wonders as well. I love chakalaka. Oh my God! I think chakalaka will work really well with this as well. That's my favorite South African dish, by the way. I really love it.
Do you like it spicy or do you like it mild?
I'm somewhere in between, but being a Nigerian babe that I am, I think I prefer it spicy.
Thank you! I was like, Akel, don't do that to me. You have to have it spicy. Okay, so I definitely enjoyed it. Dumi, the flavors on this naan bread or Nigerian flatbread, completely elevated. The lightness that you speak about, Winnie, is definitely coming through. It's not as heavy as that naan bread.
Yeah.
And then you also gave me the creaminess of this hummus with some olive oil on top is iconic pairing.
Iconic pairing indeed, Palesa. And I see that Winnie's almost done with putting that buttery that's going to go on the top. So you've minced up some garlic, minced up some parsley there, and then you're going to combine that.
Everything together and just brush it over. Oh, this garlic smells amazing.
It does. I do like some garlic. A lot of people tend to focus on using more garlic in the wintertime, but I believe garlic is for all seasons. Yes, we do know. You know,
I think they use garlic for the winter time mostly because garlic is really good for the cold. It actually helps you prevents that cold and all of the nastiness that comes with the cold.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to that. But here we're making sure we're elevating the taste of every single ingredient that goes into this dish, making sure that it is as authentically Nigerian as possible. So then with that, would you just brush it over your pita?
Yes, just like that. And you want to be very generous with it as well. Well, you can be generous, you can be mild. It's totally up to you, whatever you like.
Okay. Also, just while we're putting the finishing touches, I have to find out from you. You cannot have a food entrepreneur in your loft without asking this next question.
Okay.
A lot of people, when they're cooking, they've got their favorites. You know, their go-tos. So what is your go-to recipe?
That's a very hard question because I really do not have a favorite recipe. I love everything.
Okay.
I'm really adventurous with food. Like, I really love my food. And not just Nigerian food. I am very adventurous with food from every part of the world. So whenever I travel to a place, I'm very particular about what dishes they make, what their cuisines are, and I want to see what flavors they have in the dishes. So I don't think I have a favorite. Everything I love, I really love. Yeah.
A curious palate. I'm here for it. Now, I hope that we've battered you up enough. So head over to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full recipe and ingredients list to this tantalizing dish. Did you know that tortilla wraps can double up as sugar cones? Well, we show you how to make this, served with chocolate and custard when we return.